Realigned and Unstoppable podcast. 5 ways to align your energy to achieve your business goals. And in this episode, yes, I'm going to give you 5 tips and more, but I'm also going to help you understand what is in alignment. How does that feel? And if you're out of alignment, how does that feel? So if you are going through, this is like, is this episode for you? If you're going through major up-leveling, if you're feeling imposter syndrome, if you've been discounting yourself or underpricing yourself possibly, if you have goals on paper, but they're basically meaningless, or maybe you are too afraid to make goals because what happens if you don't achieve it, that whole conversation. Or if you're in a transition or some kind of pivot. So this is definitely a great episode you're going to want to listen to and actually come back to over and over again. But before we get into this week's episode, I also want to just say, if you are listening to the podcast on your favorite listening platform, also know there is an audio and visual version of this. So if you want to see me come to life on your screen, you can check this episode out also on my YouTube channel at Emily Aarons on YouTube. But let's get into a little friendly review. I just got this beautiful review in just this week, so I wanted to share it. And it's from person in Hollywood. It says, Me in Hollywood is their name. So thank you, whoever this is. It says, Emily is the real deal. Emily and her community has totally upgraded my meditation game. I've been following her for almost 2 years and she continues to inspire me. Her energy healing is powerful and life-changing. Her podcasts are just another great way to be in her vibration. I love it and I love her. Thank you, Emily. You are real and kind. Thanks for sharing your gifts. Thank you so much. I wish I had your name, but thank you so much. I appreciate this. And, every single review means the world to me. So if you're not an iTunes listener and you can't leave a review on iTunes, head over to my Facebook page or leave something nice to say on my website or, one of my blog posts. I mean, every little bit means something. I love creating hours of free content for my listeners, for my viewers. And if it has made an impact in your life in a positive way, and you feel called to share it, it would mean the world to me. And I know that sometimes, when we're in a low place, we're just kind of searching for answers. And that's how sometimes people find me. They're looking for answers and they're doing a search. And then finally I pop up and one of my videos comes up or one of my podcasts do. And it's the answer to their prayers. And likewise, the same can happen for you. So if you're somebody who creates content and it'd be helpful to get reviews, it's like give a little, get a little. It's that one hand washes the other. So let's get into this episode. So one of the questions that I've been asked was how to get your energy to align with what you want to achieve. And that's kind of the goal, right? And that's what I've been really digging in more deeply with. And I've been really geeking out over creating a new workshop called the Business and Soul Alignment Experience. That's been really fun, as well as some other really cool stuff. So I was kind of asking myself, I've got some notes in front of me because I want to really stay focused, but how do you find alignment, or does alignment find you? That was something that I was sitting with just before I started recording. I was just kind of flowing with my notes, and I want to talk about alignment a little bit for a second. And of course, if you've taken my workshop or you've done any work with me, you've started to understand the layers of energy alignment. We have this very intricate energy field around us and within us. It's literally aligned with our entire endocrine system. So it's in our biology. It's part of our physiology. So we know that stress, anxiety, overworking, overthinking, overwhelm, it does imprint into our energy field, and it kind of looks like or feels like a blockage. And so that blockage can stop the flow of energy, where you might have an idea and then it kind of just like gets lost in space somewhere. When we have energy blocks, it's kind of like forces that are working against us. And if we're not clearing and moving the energy in a way that is helpful, it can literally just stop us in our tracks. And sometimes we think that we're the problem, and we're not. We just have these things working against us. So I make it a point for myself, I'm constantly committed to serving at my highest level every day. And what that also means is a higher level of self-care, self-love, of listening to my body, my energy field, and taking extra good care of it. And for some people, it might be excessive. Like, oh my gosh, you do all of that for yourself? It's so selfish of you. And yeah, you're right. It is selfish of me because I'm here to impact millions of people and I can't do it from an empty cup, right? I can't do it, but tank is empty. I'm just like dying on the road somewhere, right? I have to take, I don't even know why I just said that. I have to take extra good care of myself. So I do regular energy clearings for myself, on myself, but as well as I reach out to other really high healers to work on me, sometimes on a weekly basis, but definitely on a monthly basis. So let's talk about energy. So the question was, so how do you find alignment, or does it find you? So here's some ways that you can start to tell and feel if you're in alignment. It feels like your aha, it's like a bell just rang inside of you, like something just clicked. And I know for me, I felt this recently. I was listening to these 2 meditations, and when I got out of them, I had like clear marching orders. I'm like, all right. And I grabbed my journal and I was like, writing it down. That's my next one. I'm going to say that in a second. So like I was grabbing my journal, I was writing it down. Like I couldn't even write fast enough. Like all this clarity, all this like, whew, I know exactly what I need to do and how I need to do it. And now all these other things start to make sense a little bit. And I just kind of like, I feel a little sweaty at the same time. Now everybody's different. You might not get sweaty like I do, but when I'm really fired up and in alignment, it feels like flow and light and ease and like aha, like a click. And then also when you share your idea with other people, they get excited as well. Like I might not even tell everybody every detail, but something in the energy of just the concept or with the thing that I'm talking about, like other people feel that energy and they get excited. Now there is a little caveat here because you don't tell these things to just anybody, like just, anyone. You tell them to the people who, number one, are in alignment with you, like your closest friends, peers, colleagues, your team members, people who are in that vibration and like get it, because if you just tell anybody, it might like fall flat. Like you don't just tell anybody. You guys get that. You already know. I'm telling you. So back to the aha. When you get that aha and it just like clicks, the opposite of that would be a lot of shoulding on yourself. SHOULD, shoulding on yourself. Like, oh yeah, I should do that, or I could do that, or yeah, like that kind of a thing. Also looking to everyone else for advice, strategies, or next steps. The thing is, like I always say, the intro of the intro of my podcast says it, is that you have that information inside of you, that intuition inside of you, just need to learn how to access it. So some of my tips I'll be giving you later in this episode are some ways that you can do that. But when you're looking outside of yourself for all the answers, that's like a real direct sign that you're out of alignment. I really feel like the reason why things click and they work so well, and it feels like that big, like expansive aha in me and my body, is because it's coming directly from source into me. And it's like this explosion feeling. And I kind of realize some of the words I'm using might feel kind of strange or esoteric to some people. I'm really doing the best I can to articulate. I mean, the basic of our alignment is feels good. Out of alignment is feels bad. That's like bare bones. But when you're looking outside of yourself for everything, that might mean a little something for you. Not to say you don't want to educate yourself and learn new techniques and strategies. I'm all about that. I love educating myself. I love reading books. I love it because also in the content of what you're reading and learning about, there's going to be like a little aha nugget for you that like the author might be saying one thing, but for you, you're like, but this is the way that I see it happening, right? That always happens. Also, that's a great way that you can share on social media. But anyway, also writer's block with that same kind of like, I don't know what to say, compared to I can't write these words out fast enough or type them out fast enough. It's coming through me so fast. It's like, wah, right? When we get that writer's block, we could be out of alignment. So the last one about out of alignment is that no one gets it. Or they're trying to rationally think it out. Like, what is the thing that what we're supposed to be doing here? I know that's happened for me and for my team, where we're like, if we come up with a concept that I'm not super lit up about, but like, oh, we could do this. It's kind of like, okay, yeah, we could roll with that. But no one is like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I love it. And they're echoing my energy back. Because frankly, if it's kind of out of alignment, they're also mirroring your energy, which is like, meh, right? Like, we could do this. Sure. How are we doing this? Like, we can make it work, right? Versus it kind of like coming together. Now, that's not to say that when I'm in alignment with a concept that we don't have to think about all the 9,000 steps that's comes along with it. That's not what I'm saying, because there is a time and place where your idea and your concept come out of the energetic realm and they are birthed into the world through whatever, an offering, program, service, book, podcast, whatever it is that's coming through. And there's like literally logistical things that you have to figure out how to make it work. And so don't say like, oh, well, there's all these steps now. I shouldn't have to have all these steps. They should just be given to me. Well, spirit can only do with so much, right? Like, you get this incredible idea, and then there is that left brain side that goes, okay, here's the exact way we do it, how to, right? The right brain of inspiration and ideas and that energy. And then we do have to put it through the world, right? We got to do that. So here are some tips if you're stuck, or if you're out of alignment, or you're super stressed or overwhelmed or overthinking, any of these places that you're having trouble to get yourself aligned so that you can start to create the goals and make it happen in your reality. Now, I also have a podcast episode all about goal setting as well. So we can reference that in the podcast show notes and below the video. But for the sake of this conversation, let's just dive right into these tips. Okay, so I have 5 tips. Number 1, like I mentioned, I was listening to these 2 meditations that like lit me up and lit us like the spark in me, and everything started to click. I knew what I had to change, what I had to stop doing. I knew what I had to start doing. I had a list of like, here's how it's going to work, bum, bum, bum. And that is what I'm now calling the Abundance Power Duo. And I'm working diligently with my team to be able to offer that Abundance Power Duo for free. It's just not quite ready. Depending on when you listen to it, maybe it will be, but stand by. It will be available soon, but I'm going to be making it available for free. However, if you are inside of Mastering Ascension, you already get this Power Duo. So not to worry if you're a member, you got it. Sit tight. Number 2, so that Power Duo is all about money, about abundance, about creating higher levels of income, and then clearing abundance wounds. So, okay, number 2 is time alone, time in nature, time to meditate, stillness, and potentially automatic writing. So everybody's totally unique in what works best for them. I have yet to meet a single person who said time in nature didn't help them 100%. Okay. So, I mean, I'm going to go on a limb and say, no matter who you are, where you live, if you go outside in nature, it will help you. And if it will help you to feel better about yourself, breathe more fresh air, feel more grounded, feel more expansive, why wouldn't you want to do it? It's going to work. Meditation is different for everybody as well. And like that kind review said in the beginning of, my meditations are truly energy healings. That's what you experience inside of Mastering Ascension. And that's what makes my meditations so unique, is that I've been doing energy healing for 22 years and counting. And so my meditations aren't intended to just bring you blank space and relaxation. They have an agenda. There's an intention with them to bring you to that next step. Maybe it's your next goal. Maybe it's your next, I don't know, big thing. But there is clearing that happens, energy clearing and alignment that happens inside of every single one, as well as that next step that comes through every single meditation. And that's why they work. That's why they're so powerful. But the stillness piece is also important. You know, even for me, I am like an Energizer bunny most of the time. But I also need to find that place of stillness and time alone for me to really recharge and find that deep place of alignment. Number 3 is ask in prayer. Okay, so have you tried it? I know that we frequently think about like what we want and our goals and like this next shift and the next change, but how many of you are actually fully praying for that next answer, for that next step? How many of you are asking your spirit team or God or your higher self to lead you to that next best step? And asking in prayer is so beneficial. Number 1, like you don't even have to say anything out loud. That's awesome. And I know for me, and for many people who have difficulty asking for help sometimes, being able to ask for help intuitively and inside of yourself and not have to necessarily go to the neighbor and ask for the cup of sugar and inconvenience them or bother them or waste their time and any of that stuff that we tell ourselves. The fact that we can just have a direct connection with source is like monumental. And so that's one of the best ways to get into alignment is to pray, to ask, okay? Prayer is asking, meditation is listening. See how they work together. Number 4 is pull an oracle card for insight. I know if I'm feeling that writer's block or I'm feeling a little stuck or a little stagnant or I'm overthinking things like, what do I do next? What should I do? I'll just grab my oracle card deck and I'll pull out a card. And I did pull a card for this podcast as well, which I almost forgot to say. I forgot at the beginning anyways. But I pulled out a card to see what was the most helpful for this podcast. Of course, I got overthinking. Get out of your head and into your heart. So see how fast this card resonates when I just say, okay, pull a card. Let's get some insight. And already the card is saying you're just getting out of you're in your head too much. You need to get out of your head and into your heart. So this is perfect advice to say, okay, your card is saying, stop thinking so much. Now what happens when you get your energy into your heart center? How does it feel differently now? Because truly, we want to give and receive from our heart space. That's unconditional of our heart chakra. So there's like a quick little piece of advice and quick insight, right? Just as soon as you pull a card, you get information. Number 5 is something that you might enjoy, which is painting, dancing, or just moving your body somehow. And I'm not talking about like, a workout to grind out like the muscles and like what I'm just talking about, like move your body however it feels good for you. So I know some days moving and maybe doing art is really fun, expressing myself in that way. Singing could be a thing for you. Whatever feels good, but also that body movement can literally move your system and move your energy. So play with that. And I have a bonus, number 6. I have a 6th bonus tip, which is, where our best ideas come to us, right? In the shower or in the bath. So that's my bonus tip number 6, which is in the shower or in the bath. And you can even go into it as a sacred ceremony. Like this is the space that I am creating. I'm creating this sacred container for alignment, for insight, for wisdom, to help me navigate this goal setting, to help me channel what that next step is for my business, for me to really pull in that pivot. And so I can step forward with grace and ease, with joy, feeling my most abundant self. I mean, you can do that. You don't have to, but it works. I'm just going to say that. That's why I'm giving it to you as a tip. And like I mentioned about slowing down, is that our bodies will take us down if we don't stop. And I think this is the number one thing that entrepreneurs can get wrong, which is they don't make time to stop and to slow down and to rest. And it's truly in that exhale, it's in that rest. Like I said, the time in nature, the stillness, that's the magic. Because yes, we can push and push and push through a launch and ads and new copy and email funnels and all these new ideas in social media. But when we exhale and when we pause, it's like, oh my gosh, that next level was right there. That's when we get the next idea. That's when we get the hit. And I will say, full disclosure, I was taken out in January. So like the very first week in January, I hit a wall. I got sick. I ended up testing positive, and I was basically having these like cold, lingering symptoms for weeks. And you can probably still hear it in my voice. Like it's not fully cleaned out. It's been multiple weeks now. But I will say this. I had to rest. My system, like I was praying for a solution. I was opening up for new possibilities. I was shifting my business. And literally the beginning of the year, I completely changed my business model. And so part of my body, what it needed to do was stop. It needed to grieve the old system, the old alignment, the old programming, and fully shut down in order to process that in my body, in my energy field. And I know when I did that abundance power, do a meditation, that was the exact moment when I felt like I snapped back into alignment. I'm like, yes, I am back. And I felt fired up and lit up and like ready to go. And so it's okay. We don't have to be Energizer bunnies full of everything and ideas and and productive every single day of the week. It's not in our best interest to do that. And so this is also a call out if you've not been resting and getting healing work and not getting enough alone time. It's essential in your business growth that you do this. So, and this is also, I record this video without makeup on. I'm just here, just sharing where I'm at in this exact process as my authentic self. Because like, why not? You need to also see like this, you have the shiny examples of me with makeup and good lighting. And there's also just being here podcasting, because if my video weren't on, I would still sound just like this. But now you get to have the pleasure of also seeing me, if that's what you want to do. But I wanted just to also show myself as an example of this work and why these tips work, and what alignment really looks and feels like. And it's maybe different for everybody, but I think that this year, 2022, is going to be full of pivots. It's going to be full of shifts, changes, breakdowns, breakthroughs. And you have to start learning how to read your body, your energy field, so that you can navigate through these times and not be so hard on yourself, frankly. Because why? What's the point? Why are you wasting the energy being hard on yourself? I do know that I'm going to be teaching more about your energy and your alignment and how you can utilize that in your business. So if this resonated with you and you are on iTunes, please leave me a review. Let me know how this resonated with you. And if you're on Instagram, I absolutely would love it if you took a screenshot of this episode and tag me at Emily Aarons in your IG stories, or even in a post. I love to interact and comment back and have private conversations and DMs about it. It really means the world to me that we can share this message far and wide. And again, wherever you are listening to me from, watching me from, let me know, because sometimes, and especially recently, I've been getting a lot of emails and DMs from folks who are saying, listen, I've been a huge fan for years. I've never left a comment. I can't believe I've never said anything to you before, but I'm a mega fan and I can't believe it, but you've made such an impact in my life. So I don't need it as an ego boost, but I know other people benefit from hearing how much you have been moved from this work as well. So it does make my ego feel happy, though. I will say that. It does. I appreciate it. Nothing like putting something out there that resonates with somebody. I'm telling you, it feels good too. So anyway, let me know how this week's episode resonated for you. Thank you so much for being here. I cannot wait to see you on future episodes. And if you have an idea for a future episode, or you're just like, oh, I want some more from this one, again, send me a DM, post it in the comments below the video, or shoot me an email. That's great. I'd love to hear more from you, and I'd love to make a podcast just for you, and I will give you a special shout out. So thank you again for being here. Lots of love. Take good care of yourself.